Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Hi guys, thanks for joining us again on another episode of Music and Marriage. My name is Nikita, I am your host, and this is my co-host.
I'm like Red Square, and we're there one more time, you know the thing, all right? Brand new episode of the Music and Marriage podcast. Give thanks for tuning in. Let's talk.
Wherever you are in the world, we just hope that this podcast is reaching you in good health and in good spirits.
Yeah, most definitely. Before we move forward, we have to big up our sponsors. Simply Rose Craft. You don't know if you need your household decor, if you need your merchandise done, if you need your door signs, if you need your door wreaths, make sure you check in with Simply Rose Craft. She has a website, simplyrosecraft.com, or you can check her out on Instagram at Simply Rose Craft. So make sure you check in to get all your home decor, merch, and etc. Simply Rose, big up yourself.
I wonder, I wish I said so, etc.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys go over to Simply Rose and definitely support. Also, we would like to encourage you guys to please go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. I'm Black Red Square Official, so that's AMLAKREDSQUARE
yes.
Official on YouTube. And if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you go over to a streaming platform where podcasts are available. iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, wherever your desire of your hearts, wherever you listen to your podcast, Amazon Music, we're available on all streaming platforms. So make sure you guys go and check us out and make sure you subscribe. And also on YouTube, make sure you hit the notification bell so when we do release an episode, you are notified. Or whenever we do release a vlog, you are notified.
Yes. So good vibes, good day. How you feeling? What's going on with you?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. Just here.
Yeah, man, brand new episode.
Blessed to be alive. Blessed to be here.
I something caught my eye recently, a couple weeks back, right? And I'm gonna read it, a bit of it here. Lisa Hanna is a member of parliament here, in Jamaica. She's actually on the opposition side, which means her government is not in power at the moment. And she posted something on her Instagram a couple weeks ago. Let me just read a little bit of it here. It says, "For too many years, it's been open season of gruesome atrocities being leveled at our women. The social media videos and daily police reports of slaughtering, kidnappings, brutal beatings, and other violent crimes have cast Jamaica into a dark age, where our women are the victims of pervasive gender-based violence. This did not happen overnight, right? But developed over centuries of entrenched gender inequality predicated on the assumption that women were to be subjugated only to domestic responsibilities." She go further, She said, "Few people recognize that in Jamaica, it was not until November 20, 1944, that all Jamaican women were given the full right to vote. Moreover, it was not so long ago that Jamaican women could not sign a bank loan without the consent of her husband, own land, or lead an organization." I didn't know that.
How much women in Jamaica did have husband them time there? Well, probably more than now, but...
Furthermore, many of our mothers and grandmothers were never expected to attend university, but rather to stay home and raise families. Notwithstanding these obstructions, our Jamaican women have prevailed in business, education, management, and their other chosen fields of endeavors. Regrettably, however, like racism in the USA, which has led to the ongoing unjustifiable murders of black people, misogyny in Jamaica is not only continues, misogyny in Jamaica not only continues, but appears to be escalating as more of our men come face to face with more of our women becoming independent and forthright. Our outcome has been the upsurge of gender-based violence. Seen? Today, November 25th, is designated as the International Day for the Elimination of Women Against Violence by the United Nations. We must end violence against our women, our mothers of the world. Click the link in the bio to read whatever. Right? Now, a few things caught my eye here on this post, right? Let me tell you what caught my eye. Before we go into it, let me tell you what caught my eye, right? Mm-hmm. We have a duo here in Jamaica, twins of twins, mm-hmm. right? And two locks, one of the twins. Mm-hmm. Is very vocal when it comes to like women's rights and anything we have to do with women. Me notice him very, very vocal. Me don't know if you have two locks on this podcast here one day, just to kind of reason with him and see what is the real grouse between. Because from the energy that me pick up from him, is like he's been hurt by women personally. Okay. You know what I mean? And you don't know. When things happen to you, everybody deal with situations differently. Understand what I say? So, me not cast no judgment on him none at all. Mm-hmm. But when him do react to certain things, it always catch my eye. Now, this was his reaction to what Lisa Hannah had posted on her Instagram. Mm-hmm. He actually commented under her post, right? First him say, I'm not sure if this goes in order, but he commented like twice, right? And said, this happens because we fail as a nation to see that the problem is neither male or female. The problem is a people problem. People need to stop with this inequality lie when we know that that inequality against women is long gone. Right? So he must say, this is not a man versus woman or man or hold on woman problem no more. It's more about a people problem. So we need to stop, focus our energies on saying that women are being down-pressed and depressed, and men and the society as a whole want to keep women in the shadows because those days are long gone. Mm-hmm. That he must say, long gone. The best jobs, and in quotation, women, persons quickest to receive assistance financial or otherwise, women. People who graduate top of their class, women. Check the percentage of men killed in Jamaica compared to females. So all I'm saying is stop the gender comparison and exemption. We need to tackle crime overall. Stop being emotional and start being objective. Simple maths. Let's start caring about people and stop with the gender bias. It shows weakness and finger pointing rather than strength. Now, what you think about that response?
That is a whole heap of bangarang. First of all, this is the first I'm hearing this.
It happened a couple of weeks ago.
Honestly,
do you think that women are still being depressed and down-pressed and in Lisa Hannah's words, victims of pervasive gender-based violence, like excessive gender-based violence is happening against women in Jamaica? Or do you think that it's the overexposure of social media and other medias that it's causing it to seems as if men are being overly violent to women?
As far as the violence towards women, I would honestly say, like, for me, I would agree with that women are being you know, more the target now, so to speak. Because when I was growing up, like I can remember taking a bus from Kingston to Portmore with, you know, if I did need assistance and man is on the road, they're gonna help and make sure you're good, make sure you go on the right bus. You know, certain things like that. They protected the women and children. So in this,
you think that is happening less, or you think that
I feel,
you feel like
that's what I'm about to get to. I feel like it's happening less now because men are more quicker to react and be more angry towards the women. I'm not really sure why.
So you're saying that women weren't being kidnapped and raped back then?
They were, but it wasn't as many as it is today.
Why you say that? Because me feel like it has been happening, but because we have the social media now, it's more amplified.
It's more heightened. It has been happening. I definitely would say that, yes, because I myself have, you know, a family member who was, you know, murdered during a domestic violence situation, and she, you know, eventually died from her wounds that she sustained during the, you know, the attack. But I really do feel like it's even if it's the social media wasn't there, because back then we had news same way. Even though everybody didn't watch the news, and we only had like 2 or 3 news channel in Jamaica, but you know, it wasn't highlighted, as you said, as much as it is now. And I do feel like women are being targeted more. I'm not really sure why, but it is, as far as the finances and stuff like that and career wise, I feel like women are dominating that shit.
Right.
I feel like we are kicking ass. Like, I don't feel like, especially in business, yes, because we've moved out of the mind state of, okay, we just are only capable of being home and taking care of the family. We didn't have the mindset. And I think a lot of women didn't have the encouragement as well from the spouse or even their peers to say, go start that business. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Let's make this company. Yeah, a lot of women are more encouraged now because they see it is more accessible, I would say, like easier to start a business now than it was 20 years ago. You know, so a lot of women now can be able to open boutiques, can be able to, you know, start their podcasts, can be able to, you know, open Fortune 500 companies, you know, run them as well. Tech company, you know, there's a lot of women in the tech world, a lot of black women as well in the tech world. So, you know, I feel like when it comes to that part, when she's saying that, I'm not in agreement because I feel even.
I mean, I'm not. I don't think that she's saying that it's not happening now. She's just making reference, you know, to the past and showing that, you know, things have changed, but notwithstanding that, the change, there are still gender-based violence and other things that are being predicated against our women in the society.
I mean, it's not much to say about that. I don't really think there's much to say about that because I feel like violence against women has always been happening. There might be an increase. There might be a
all right. Let me add a next comment. Let me add another part of the whole scenario. Like, Tulaks also went on to say, right? Furthermore, you made no reference to the fact that most of the conflict stems from infidelity, which has absolutely nothing to do with women's rights. You made no reference whatsoever that Jamaica is #1 in the world as it relates to paternity fraud.
That's what we mentioned.
And I need not to mention that I rubbish your claim on men simply being violent based on their constant need for subjugation of the female. That is ludicrous, to say the least. Most men have grown past such.
I mean, I agree with him on that comment right there. I agree with him to the extent where I would say, because it does stem from, most situations does stem from infidelity within the households or the families that we do have left in Jamaica, especially in this generation now. Like, a lot of it does stem from infidelities, and financial issues will be, I would say, number 2. But with the infidelity and the...
But infidelity goes both ways.
Exactly. But then when he spoke about the paternity, that only could go one way.
Definitely.
Female.
Definitely.
So that's where he's saying like a lot of these things are provoking, but at the same time, he has to remember that just because there's an action doesn't mean that it has to be a negative reaction. You could figure out a way to, make it work some
kind of agreement.
Exactly. Some type of way where you
slow to wrath then.
Exactly. Yes. Perfectly said. You'd be slow to wrath and more to be able to just be able to reason or just to see outside of the situation.
But
it might be hard.
You expect a man to be slow to wrath when it comes to paternity fraud?
I mean, brother, what are you going to do? Kill her and then you locked up for life? You throwing your whole life away rather than you could walk away and go create a life with someone who's actually willing and wanting to create a life with you and a family? Think about it. It's all about making the right choice. It's all about, as you said, slow to wrath and keeping your temper to a level where you can be angry, you can be upset, but not to the point where you're going to meds like, okay, you want her dead. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense because your life is done right there because it's either you're going to be locked up or you're going to be on the run. You're not going to have a peaceful life. So what is the purpose you're going to put yourself through all of that just to, and it's not going to make you feel any better when she's not here.
Because the youth still are going to be motherless.
Exactly. And you probably have other youths with her. She probably have other kids with other, you know what I'm saying?
The thing what I don't understand still.
What?
I said it earlier. Mm-hmm. Infidelity goes both ways, mm-hmm. right? So when a man cheat, and most of the time, man is a man cheat first mm-hmm. in a relationship.
Yeah, most times.
Right? Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there is no acceptance that you're doing the wrong thing and because you do the wrong thing, a woman might step out by you.
And she might feel some type of way.
You understand what I say?
Most Jamaican men expect say, if me go over here so go sleep with Tasha and come back, you're supposed to stay. I hold it like a standing fan. You don't move, you never blink. Right. Unless me get a permission for do so.
I feel like
that's how most men are.
That need for change.
And that's the mentality because that mentality is all stemming from ownership because you feel like this is yours. And you feel like
that Lisa say. You understand what I say?
I mean, I don't think that would ever. From that point of view, I don't think
feel like at that she say like we as men in our society, we still feel like we own you. And because me own you, you're subjected to anything when me want to do as the man. As your man. Mm-hmm. If me want to go outside, I go do that. I go do that, but no, sir, you are my number one and just hold it and control it.
Mm-hmm. That's the mentality that y'all have, but y'all need to understand first and foremost, we don't belong to you. I am not yours. I am not a property. I am a part of you. Mm-hmm. We become one, but I am not yours. Just because we sign that paper saying, okay, we're married, that's not a lease, that's not an ownership, it's marriage. You get what I'm saying? So when men start to understand that and start to feel comfortable within the decisions, like, okay, my woman can make certain decisions and I can still trust her and still feel like the man of the house. And I think it all also stems from ego.
Definitely.
Like when they feel like their ego and their pride is just bigger than this world and they feel like they have to prove a point and it has to be their way or the highway. It's just all about, as we always say, communication and just really sitting down. You have a good woman. You don't want to push her away because you're trying to force ownership onto her. Be like, okay, well, you can't go there with another man. And a lot of Jamaican men, I left me and you left and you go there with next man. Me, I kill you and the man and with the badness. Like, brother, I know you alone can't fire a shot. Pew, pew. Like, everybody else can do it. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So with that mentality, it's not going to make the relationship go nowhere. And a lot of women, especially Jamaican women, we tend to, that shit turns us on. When, at least most, not all, because that shit, I don't play them games. But most women, I know a lot of females that are like this where if him not bad them up, if him not beat them, if him not box you down 2 times, if him not have 3-4 women on the road, they don't feel good. Like they like the contention, they like the argument, they like the whole I'm number one and you're not and I gotta fight over him and all. Like that shit was cool in our teens and early 20s, but like, you know, after getting past you gotta pass certain things, and I feel like all these things contribute. Relearn. Exactly. Sometimes we do have to relearn a lot of things that we were taught. because it's not always the right thing, especially a lot of things that we see, especially growing up in certain garrisons in Jamaica. You see enough carelessness. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You see enough liquor, unnecessary vibes were going between man and woman whenever necessary because him go there with the nearby one, carelessness like that, or she go there with the man down the road, or whatever it is. So, it's just all about, as we always say, responsibility, communication. Like, it's very, very, very important.
Yeah, man, most definitely.
But brothers, y'all don't own shorty, alright?
I think it's a very good conversation to have, more openness in our society, so that we can have a better understanding of each other and how we see things, from a family point of view and from a marriage point of view, from a paternal and a maternal point of view. You know what I mean? But yeah. Big up Lisa and Tulak same way.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Keep the conversation going.
Exactly.
Keep it respectful.
These are the type of respective, constructive conversations that we need to be having, where we can be able to agree to disagree, but still see each other's point and say, okay, well, all right, you feel this way, I feel this. All right, let's figure out how we're going to contribute to society to make it better, and not just better. Sit down and just make noise.
Bicker
and just make noise and make it look even worse on the man and woman. Same. You get what I'm saying? The same thing that she's trying to say about the men trying to put certain type of vibes towards women, like it will somewhat come off as that if it's going to continue to be, like disrespectful banter.
Definitely.
But, big up yourself for definitely dropping that. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you love this topic or if you have anything to add it. Let's talk, you know what I mean?
Yes, make sure you guys comment.
Keep the conversation going.
Comment, like, share. As we said in the beginning of the episode, make sure you guys go over to YouTube and follow us on Amlak Red Square Official. Subscribe,
Yes.
So that's AMLAKREDSQUARE Official on YouTube. And if you are viewing us on YouTube, please go over to our any streaming platform where podcasts are available and subscribe. iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We are everywhere, and literally, everywhere podcasts are provided. So make sure you guys go and check us out, and make sure you guys subscribe, follow us, like, share, comment, and join the reasoning with us on social media. If you aren't following us as yet, we have a lot of content on social media that we post of the podcast and personal. So make sure you guys go over to our YouTube channel, Music and Marriage. So that's Music AND Marriage Podcast on Instagram, and to follow my personal page is Nikki_Gordon 718.
And mine is Amlak Red Square across all platforms.
Yes, thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode of Music and Marriage. My name is Nikita, I'm your host, and this is my co-host.
Amlak Red Square, you know the thing go. Big up on yourself. Give thanks for joining us. Peace.
Well, good people.